So I'm going to mute everyone, but we will, we're going to
Amy,
get started.
Do some hip opening stuff.
Oh, there's Steph. Sure. We'll definitely get some hips in, Steph. We'll have you crying before you have to bring your kids to school.
Okay.
Pigeon, pigeon, pigeon.
Yes, we'll do pigeon. Bill may make some noise, but in the meantime, I'm going to mute all of you lovely ladies and Bill.
You can't mute me. That's the beauty.
We cannot mute you. No. Welcome. There's our grandfather clock. So welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, my partner Bill in the background, and we may see an occasional cat. So this morning we're going to get started. First, we're going to stand. Spread our feet about hips distance apart. Deep bend in the knees. Hinge from your hips. And let's just take a deep forward fold to start class. So option to have your finger pads on the floor. Always an option to use a brick. We're finding opposite elbows. And just for these first initial breaths, just spread the toes wide. You don't have to add any movement. Just begin to allow the body to soften, to release, to let go to gravity. Just beginning to come into the body. Feeling the breath as it enters through the nostrils. Shake out your head. And after several breaths here, if it feels good to add some movement, you can sway side to side. Or begin to shift the weight into your heels and then into the balls of the feet. And taking 3 more breaths here. Last 2. And on 1, let's find our child's pose. So knees splayed comfortably, big toes touch, hips are heavy. Let's extend those arms in front of us. Deep bend in the elbows and forehead to the floor. Allow the belly to be nice and soft. Spreading your fingers wide. See if you can notice the space between your fingers. Just draw your attention there. And then draw your attention to your toes and see if you can feel the space between your toes. Let's take another full breath in here. Deep exhalation. And we'll walk our hands to the left side of the mat. Taking that right hand on top of the left. Feel that stretch in the right side of the body. The head may or may not touch the floor. But gently allow the shoulders to soften away from the ears. Relax the face, connect with that breath. And let's walk to the opposite side of our mat. Left hand on top of the right. Beautiful stretch on the left side of the body. Full breath in. Nice long exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last full breath in here. Exhale it completely. And walk our hands back in towards the center of our mat. And then walk your hands into your body. You can draw those knees together. Sitting comfortably in rock position on your heels, or you can take a brick as Bill is, getting a little more lift of his hips. And we're going to start by cactusing our hands out this morning. And like you're doing a cat-cow, so in cow position, you're going to have your hands like goal posts. Open up the heart. You see that rounded lower back. And on an exhale, like you're rounding a cat, you can rest your hands on the tops of your thighs. Breathe into that back body. Inhale, you lift your heart, feel that stretch, maybe eyes towards the sky. Exhale, hands release, really round that back body. Let's take 4 more like that, using our breath. Inhale, finding that lift. Exhale into cat, rounded back body. We're breathing, spread the fingers wide. Exhale, hands to your knees. Maybe bring your chin towards your chest. 2 more, we breathe. Exhale. 1 more, inhale here. Exhale, hands to your knees. Then crisscross your hands at your heart center. Maybe bow your forehead slightly, taking a moment to set an intention or prayer for your practice this morning. And I'm going to read you a quick quote this morning from Dennis Waitley. And Dennis says, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every moment with love, grace, and gratitude. It's what we are cultivating in our class this morning to get our days set right. So flutter your eyelids open. We'll release our hands to the floor, toes tuck under, and we'll find our way into downward dog. So adding some movement, pedaling out your feet. Shake out that head. And just keep pedaling out those feet for a few more moments here. And then begin to find stillness in your downward dog, keeping your head in line with your arms. Eyes are soft towards the back of the mat. Let's everyone take a deeper bend in our knees. Press your chest closer to your thighs. Externally rotate those shoulders. Notice how that frees up your head and neck. Then begin to draw the heels to the floor, opening up the backs of your legs a little deeper this morning. 2 more breaths here. We'll take 1 more inhalation. On an exhale, keep your feet where they are. Let's walk our hands back towards our toes. And then we'll walk forward into our high plank. Shoulders over those wrists. And then walk our hands back towards our toes. Maybe pause for a moment, then walk your hands forward into high plank. Option here to take a push-up. We'll walk our hands back towards our toes again. Pause for just a moment, feel that deep bend in the hips. We'll walk our hands forward into high plank again. Optional push-up. Hands walk back to the toes. Pause for a moment, spread out the toes. 2 more. We walk our hands forward, pausing in high plank. Extra yoga credit for a push-up. We walk our hands back towards our toes. Pause for just a moment. And last time, hands walk forward, pause in high plank, optional push-up. We'll walk our hands back towards our toes 1 last time. So we're at the back of the mat, feet are hips distance apart. Take that left hand in the center of your mat, slight bend in the left knee. Right hand reaches high. Tuck the thumb in, wrap the fingers around the thumb. Let's open up the wrist. Eyes up towards that wrist, or you can shift them towards that bottom hand. We're going to change direction with that wrist twist. Now spread the fingers wide, and we'll lower that right hand down. Deep bend in that right knee. Right hand replaces the left hand, and now inhale that left hand high. Tuck the thumb in, wrap the fingers around, open up the wrist, twisting in one direction. And then please change direction. The fingers spread wide, lower the hand down, walk the hands forward into your downward dog. Eyes towards the toes or the back of the mat. We inhale to high plank. Navel is engaged. 5 counts to lower to the floor. Beautiful. Elbows hug in. Like you're melting, moving through space. 4, 3, 2, on 1. We untuck our toes. Hands are going to come cactus. We're going to cactus our hands out to the side. Let me move back a little bit. Feet are rooted about hips distance apart. Modified Shalabhasana with cactus arms. So inhale, just lift the heart. On an exhale, forehead to the floor. We breathe in, hips are rooted. We lift our heart. We find that baby cobra, arms out into those goalposts. On an exhalation, forehead down. 2 more like that. Inhale, just opening that back heart space, lifting, rooting. Exhale, soften and let go. Last one here, warming up our lower back. Hands are cactus, out to the side. We inhale. Just lift that heart. Breathing here for 3. Maybe find a little more lift. 2. On 1. Forehead down, hands in line with your chest. Tuck those toes under. Engage all those muscles. Then we press through high plank. Beautiful downward dog on the exhalation. Eyes are soft to the back of the mat. Now inhale that right leg high. We bend the knee, stack the hip. So find movement in the hip, opening up that hip joint with nice wide circles with the knee. Just take your time, enjoy that breath. Then we change direction. Hands are rooted, head is super heavy. Now extend that right leg up towards the sky. Lower that right leg down slightly so you can find that internal rotation with the thighs. On the inhalation, we squeeze the knee to the nose. Exhale, extend. 2 more. We breathe in and squeeze, round that back body. Exhale, extend through the toes. Last one here. Knee to nose. We pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2. We look between our hands. Step that foot right between the hands. Pause here. Find that high plank, that high lunge. Then root the feet and come all the way up into crescent lunge. Soften the shoulders. Let's actually cactus our hands here. So engaging that left thigh, root through that left heel. Play that edge with the right thigh. So tuck those floating ribs back into the body. Eyes are eye level. Let's take 1 more breath in. And extend those arms up towards the sky. And we'll cycle through a vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Right leg back. Pause here. High to low plank. Cobra or upward dog. Beautiful. We'll meet in downward dog. Pause and breathe. Shake out that head. Now extend the left leg high. We bend the knee, stack the hip. And then open up the hip joint, lubricating it. Really wide knee circles. You can also add the ankle in. 2 more breaths, changing direction. Let's finish that last revolution. Then that left leg extends. Lower the leg slightly. You're flexing the left foot. On an inhalation, we squeeze the knee to the nose, round that back body. Exhale, extend through the toes. 2 more. We're breathing. Inhale, we squeeze. Activate that core. Exhale, extend. Last one here. Knee to nose, pulsing. 5, 4. Shoulders over the wrists. 3, 2. Look between your hands on 1. Step the leg forward. First, find that high lunge. Melt into the hips. Readjust your feet if needed. Then from that rootedness, engage the core. We'll come all the way up. And again, we'll cactus our hands out to the side. So drop a little deeper into that left thigh. Eyes eye level and reach through that right heel. See if you can find that scissor action with the hips. Spin the hip points towards the back of your mat. Then please extend the arms up towards the sky. We'll cycle through our vinyasa. Hands release. Beautiful, high to low. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog, pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Slow down the breath. Slight bend in the knees. And we'll walk those toes into the center line again. Please extend that right leg high. Exhale, we squeeze the knee to the nose. We extend and lengthen. Squeeze and soften knee to nose. One more, find that length. Then step it forward into your high lunge. So again, take your time coming all the way up. Eyes directly in front of you. So hands are reaching up towards the sky. You can cactus your hands out to the side as well. Find that breath. In one movement, we're going to step that left foot to your right into chair plane. So sitting into the chair, arms reach behind you. So drop into those hips. Breathing here. On an inhalation, you're going to stand and take that left foot with you. Hands up, the left knee with you. Hands are at your heart center. Now a slight bend in that right knee, finding our airplane. So left leg comes behind you. Hands can stay at your heart center or reach your arms out to the side. Taking flight here. Breathing here for 3, for 2. On 1, you're going to bend that left knee again. Hands to heart center. In one movement, we step back into that crescent lunge. So left leg to the back of the mat, arms reach up high. Beautiful. And we'll cycle through our vinyasa. Hands release, right leg back, high to low plank, cobra or upward dog, downward dog, exhale. Eyes towards the back of the mat. We walk those toes into a center line. Please extend that left leg high. Squeeze the knee to the nose on the exhalation. Wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Breathe in and find the length through the leg. Exhale, we squeeze it out. Last one, we find that extension, then step it forward into crescent lunge. So that left foot is forward, arms reach up high, drop into the hips. See if you can straighten through that back leg. And in one breath, we're going to step the right foot to the left for chair plane. Arms reach behind you. Steady breathing, heart is lifted. On the inhalation, straighten and take that right knee with you. So you're lifting that right knee, eyes are steady. On an exhalation, kick the right leg back into your airplane. Hands stay supported at your heart or extend them out to the side. Try to level off those hips. Now everyone lift that right leg a little higher. Breathing here, take one more inhale. On an exhale, we bend that right knee as we straighten. Eyes are steady. Then we'll step it back into that crescent lunge. So take your time. You can always modify, drop that knee to the earth. And we'll cycle through vinyasa, hands release. Beautiful job, left leg back, high to low. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, we pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Slow down the breath. Always working on that inhalation and exhalation of equal length. Take a few more breaths here. Lengthening through the arms, maybe drawing those heels a little closer to the floor. We'll draw one more inhale in. Exhale it completely. Bend the knees, step, jump, or hop to the back of the mat. We find that halfway lift. Forward fold. And sit into that chair pose again. This time arms reach up. We spin those pinkies in. Draw the shoulders back into the socket. Weight into those heels. Let's drop those hips a little deeper. Energetically squeeze those thighs together. One more inhale. Hands to heart center as we fold forward. Halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back. high plank, beautiful to low plank. A cobra or upward dog, downward dog, exhale. Eyes towards the back of the mat. We walk our toes into the center line. So we'll add on the same similar sequence. We'll just add on after the airplane. So reach the right leg high. Squeeze the knee to the nose on the exhale. We're breathing in, finding that length. Exhale, round that back body, maybe kiss that knee. Last time, extend through the toes, find that length. Step it forward into that crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Beautiful tall spine. And in one movement, we step that left foot to the right, finding our chair plane. Hands behind you, heart is lifted. We stand tall, take that left knee with you. Then shooting the leg behind you, we find our airplane. Arms out to the side, taking flight, upward dog in the chest. Spread those right toes. Use that inhalation to bend that left knee, bringing it to your heart center again. Let me move out of the way. Now from here, just extend that left leg. Reach the arms up overhead, pulsing 5, 4, look straight ahead, try not to lean back, 3, 2, on 1, we'll find our figure 4. So cross that left ankle over the right thigh. We'll begin to bring our hands to our heart as we drop into our hips. So flexing the left foot, eyes are steady. So just play that edge, maybe go a little deeper after a few breaths, drawing those elbows to that bottom leg. If you have more movement this morning and want to take your finger pads to the floor, decide what's right for you at this moment. 2 more breaths here, see if you can drop a little deeper. And on the inhalation, we'll slowly rise. Take that left knee back up towards the sky. We'll step it behind you into crescent lunge again. Beautiful, and cycle through your vinyasa. Right leg back, high plank to low plank, cobra or up dog, downward dog, exhale. Eyes towards the back of the mat, walk those toes into a center line. Beautiful, last side, so left leg lifts. Exhale, squeeze the knee to the nose, round that back body. Inhale, we find that length. Exhale, squeeze it all in, shoulders over the wrist creases. Beautiful, last one. Find that beautiful extension. Then step it forward. Come all the way up into that crescent lunge. We're drawing those arms past the ears or cactusing them. Now engage that back of the right thigh, press through the heel. And in one breath, we step the right foot to the left into our chair plane. Steady breathing here, drop into those hips. Inhale, we straighten and take that right knee with you. Then we press that heel back as we find our airplane on the right side. So hands at your heart center. Notice what changes in your posture if you're flexing that right foot or pointing through the toes. Breathing here, eyes eye level. Taking one more full breath here. Exhale it out. Now inhale, straighten, take that right knee with you. And then we'll uncurl the knee, extend the leg, arms up ahead or cactus them out. And we'll flex our foot and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Figure 4. Right ankle crosses over that left thigh. We lower our hands to our heart center. Beautiful, a nice tall spine. Drop into those hips. Stay connected with that breath. You find that resistance, pause and breathe. And after a few breaths, maybe you can go a little further. Taking flight. Option to have the finger pads on the floor. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Last full inhale. Then slowly rise, take that right knee up towards the sky. In one movement, step that leg back through your crescent lunge, and we'll cycle through our vinyasa. Beautiful work. Hands to the mat, left leg back, high to low, cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Steady breathing. Let's keep our hands where they are. Walk your feet about a foot closer. Toes turn in slightly, so you're in that modified downward dog. We'll just crisscross that left hand towards the outer right ankle. Gaze under the right armpit. Slow down the breath, maybe bend those knees. Shake out that head. So noticing what's connected to the floor, that right hand, the fingers are spread wide. Again, draw your attention to the space between the fingers. Just give your mind something to do. Then we'll release that left hand to the floor. Now, right hand outside the left ankle. Maybe gaze under that left armpit. Slow down the breath. 2 more breaths here. Draw your attention to the space between the left fingers. And we'll release the right hand to the floor. Step your feet back, downward dog, and we'll cycle through a vinyasa. High plank to low, cobra or upward dog, downward dog, exhale. We'll inhale to high plank. Spin your heels to the left, Vashisthasana. So modify your side plank if you need by taking that left knee to the earth. Always have that option to off splay your feet, lift those hips higher, eyes up towards that upper hand. And then watch that right hand as it comes to the floor. We just roll through high plank and we'll come to the other side. Side plank on the other side. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. My feet are separated. Find that breath, lift through those hips. And we're just gonna rotate between these sides for a few more times. So watch that left hand as it comes to the floor. We move through high plank, and then I'm just spinning on the other side, reaching that right hand high. Again, you can do this on your knee, lower the right hand down, spin the heels in the opposite direction. Just 2 more. So lower that left hand down, come through high plank. You're on the sides of your feet. Beautiful, last side, right hand down. Spin the heels to the right. Lift that left hand up. Maybe lift those hips. Beautiful. And cycle through a vinyasa. Nice work. High to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog and find our way into child's pose for just a few breaths. So sit back towards your heels, bend those elbows, pause and breathe. Just letting the first half of class cultivate. Letting it marinate in the body. Just noticing that prana, the life energy surging through the body. Swallow a few times. Let's take one more inhalation here. Complete that exhalation. And let's transition onto our hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. Downward dog. Keep your hands where they are. We'll walk our feet back to the heel of our hands. Heel toe those feet together. And let's sit into our chair. Hips are heavy. Arms are reaching tall. Drop a little deeper. Let's take that right elbow underneath our left. Weight into that left foot, right thigh up, over, maybe find that wrap, and then we spin everything into that center line. So let's lift our elbows, and then we'll draw our elbows towards our knees, keeping the lower body where it is. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, squeeze. Take your time, eyes eye level. We're breathing and lifting, softening on the exhale. 2 more. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one, we lift. Draw those elbows towards your knees. Stay here or unwrap that right thigh. Finding Virabhadrasana 3 again. Slight bend in that left knee. So energetically draw that left hip back. Eyes eye level. And use that breath. We'll take 1 more wrap, right thigh up and over. And let's release everything into Samasthiti, hands at heart center. Before we come to the other side, just pause and breathe. Slowing down that breath, matching the inhalation and exhalation with equal length. And we can flutter our eyelids open. Allow those finger pads to come to the floor, finding your way back into chair pose. Palms turn in, shoulders draw back into the sockets. So we take that left elbow underneath our right. Wrap those arms. Drop a little deeper into those thighs, into the hips. Root that right foot and use that core to lift the left thigh up and over. Finding that wrap for some of you. Now spinning those knees back into the center. We lift our hearts here. On an exhale, squeeze those knees to the nose. So if you fall out of it, just come back in. Eyes eye level. We breathe in and lift. Exhale, we squeeze. Moving with our breath. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more like that. Take your time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe explore a little deeper bend in that right knee. Last 2, we lift. Soften, maybe connect the elbow with the knee. Last one, inhale here. We draw those elbows to the knees. You can stay connected or unwrap that left thigh. Hips are level. I take a deeper bend in that right knee. Explore the upward dog in the chest. Modify if you need to. Lift that back leg a little higher. Then we'll slowly take that wrap. Left thigh over the right. Pause and breathe. And let's release everything. Full inhale. Samasthiti, hands to heart center. Pause and breathe. Slow down the breath. Wiggle the toes. Shifting the knees over the ankles. Hips over the knees. Shoulders over your hips. Head is level. Let's flutter our eyelids open. It's been a couple weeks since we found our dancer. So right elbow out. That right palm is out to the side. We bend the right knee. Find the inner arch of that foot. Squeeze those knees together. So let's start with the kicking action with the foot. Toes towards the up and towards the back of the space. And slowly that left hand will come down, trying to center it and level with your eyes. Breathing here. Again, you can soften that left knee. Maybe find a little more lift with the toes. 2 more breaths. Last inhalation. Beautiful. Then ride all the way back up to standing. Release that right leg. Bring your hands to your heart center. Let's find some shoulder rolls between sides. And we'll change direction. And let's find our dancer on the other side. So left elbow out, turn the palm up towards the sky. Right hand is extended up towards the ceiling. We bend and find the inner arch of the left foot. Squeeze those knees together. So even in the standing position, engage that core, navel in and up towards your spine. This is our power center. Everything's coming out of that area. Start with the kicking action. Eyes eye level. And just slowly, breath by breath, allow the body to find a little deeper opening as it explores a little deeper into the posture. No rushing, there's no destination we're getting to. We're just opening up the body softly, breath by breath. Let's pour it on, find that full expression. Then use that inhalation to ride the breath all the way up. Release the leg, hands to heart center, Samastitihi. So releasing the hands alongside the body, let's open up our head and shoulders a little more. So chin towards our chest. Left ear, left shoulder. And chin back through center. Right ear, right shoulder. Back to chin towards chest. Now open up your throat, eyes towards the sky. And chin back towards our chest. Take some slow head rolls. So a wider stance with the feet may give you a little more stability. Linger wherever you need to. And let's just change direction with our head rolls. And finish this last revolution. Eyes are bright. Heel toe those feet together. We'll cycle through a vinyasa. Full breath in. Swan dive forward, just spilled forward. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back. High plank to low. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, exhale. We'll inhale the high plank. 10 counts to lower down to the mat. So maybe stay here, engage that core straight through those arms. You can do some push-ups, a few more breaths. Nice, and slowly lower all the way to the mat, elbows hug in. Let's take that left ear to the floor, release the toes, tops of the feet are on your mat. Pause and breathe. Slow down the breath. And let's take the opposite ear to the floor. So from this resting position, maybe you can walk your shoulders away from your ears. So imagine your fingers are coming closer towards your toes. Pause and breathe here. And we'll just bend our knees and windshield wiper our feet side to side. And release your legs to the floor. And we're going to cactus our hands out to the side again. So working on our floor bow, just like we did at the beginning of class, our hands are out in cactus or into that goal posts. My feet are hips distance apart. You're rooting the tops of the feet and your hip points. So make sure that the movement is coming from your lower back. Imagine you have a door on the back of your heart. So you're opening up that door, moving from that space. So inhale, we lift. Maybe use that momentum, connect the feet a little further and find a little more lift. Beautiful, slowly lower down. Take your left ear to the floor. Pause and breathe. Relax your face. And we'll take that pose one more time. So same setup. If you felt unstable, maybe take a wider stance with your feet. Tops of the feet are rooted. Your hips are rooted. We peel our chest off the floor. Try not to use your head or neck. You're gazing straight in front of you. See if you can lift a little higher. Beautiful. Slowly release. Right ear down. Eyes are soft. Slow down the breath. So coming back to neutral. Now we bend our knees. Walk those knees towards one another. Hands behind for your ankles. Great time to use a strap. So soften everything. We'll take this in stages, riding our breath into the full expression of the posture. So exhale all the air out. On the first inhale, we lift everything off the mat, the chest, the thighs, toes are pointed. Squeeze a little air out. Then inhale, fill up the chest, 2/3 of the way. Thighs are off the mat, eyes are steady, straight in front of you. We squeeze a little air out. Then we find that full expression. Maybe roll more into the front of the chest, lift those legs a little higher, and slowly release with control. You can let go of your ankles. We take that left ear to the floor, pause and breathe. So we're gonna take one more set, just like that. So again, you're gonna bend your knees, walk those knees towards one another. Let all of the air out. On an inhalation, take those thighs and chest off the floor. Let a little air out. Then we inhale. 2/3 of the way, chest is expanded, toes are reaching a little higher, maybe roll more weight into the ribs. We squeeze a little air out. Then use that next full breath, find that full expression, lifting and releasing, let it all go. Beautiful. Opposite ear to the floor, we windshield wiper those feet side to side. Slow down the breath. And then pause, release the legs to the floor, hands in line with your chest. We come all the way up onto our hands and knees, crisscross your ankles, and extend those legs out in front of you. So if you have a brick or a book close by, you want to grab that. Let's give ourselves a nice big hug this morning. So drawing those knees into your chest, just allow as much spine as possible to connect with the mat. We soften our shoulders away from our ears. Relax your face. Take a little deeper squeeze, maybe finding those elbows. And again, we'll cactus our hands out to the side, drop the knees to the right. Feel the back of the hands as they connect with the floor. Open up that chest. Maybe lick your lips. Then we draw our knees back through center, and please take them in the opposite direction. And maybe take your gaze over that right shoulder. And we'll hug those knees back to center. Finding that brick or your book, we'll extend those legs up towards the sky. I'm squeezing the brick in between my shins and my ankles. And we'll start by taking our hands overhead and hovering that brick just 2 inches above the mat. On an inhale, we lift, exchange the brick with the hands. Now the brick comes overhead, just hovers above the floor, heels hover, then inhale. Use that core action. So just exchanging the brick, moving with your breath. This is not a fast movement, it's a controlled movement. So in all of our yoga postures, we're always balancing ease with effort. Finding that consistent breath throughout the practice. Let's exchange the brick 3 more times. Take your time. Again, this is still a great exercise if you don't have a brick or a book. Last 2. And last exchange here. Gonna hover that brick above the floor, bring it back to center, bend those knees, and take our feet flat on the floor. So those heels are right behind our fingers, setting up for, we'll take 2 bridges this morning, bridges or wheels. So we spin our palms up towards the sky. Imagine you're pinning those shoulders to the earth. Just pause here. Again, notice what's connected with the mat. Relax your face, slow down the breath. So we'll flutter our eyelids open, begin to peel those hips up towards the sky, walking those shoulders underneath, interlacing the hands for some of you, pressing those forearms to the floor, lift the thighs a little higher. Eyes are bright. See if you can lift everything another inch. Beautiful, with control, release the hands, allow the back body to connect with the floor. Our knees kiss, both hands on your belly. You can walk those feet out a little bit. Remembering that prayer or intention we set at the beginning of class. Use the tongue to clean the teeth. We'll flutter our eyelids open, open up those knees, feet parallel to the sides of the mat. So one more bridge or full wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana. So bridgers, you can go right up. Full wheel, hands, fingers are underneath your shoulders. So your hands are like your arms are like grasshopper wings. You're drawing those elbows in, rooting the hands and feet into the mat as you press into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Walking those feet closer, straightening through those arms, letting go of control or effort in your head or neck. Find that breath here. 2 more breaths. We take a final full inhale. On an exhalation, chin in, back body slowly connects with the mat. Uncurl the spine, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Slow down the breath. Taking a quick body scan. Allowing knees to open to gravity. Let's take 2 more breaths. Last full inhale. Complete that exhalation. We flutter our eyelids open, hands outside those knees, squeeze those knees together, and we'll rock backwards and forwards. So we're rocking our way into boat pose, Navasana. So staying supported, that beautiful straight back, supporting under our knees or reaching your hands forward. Maybe begin to straighten those legs. Eyes are eye level, breath is steady. We'll cross our ankles, hands by your hips. We lift, Navasana. Find that breath. Relax your face, engage that core. 1 or both legs up, play that edge. Then we cross opposite ankle, hands by our hips. We lift. Last time, Navasana. Cultivating that core action, lifting through the heart, maybe extending those toes, play your edge. Ankles cross, hands by your hips. We'll cycle through our vinyasa. High to low plank, cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog, exhale. So we'll come onto our knees and set up for Gumkasana. So a great hip opener. So we'll bend our right knee, left knee is on top. So option to hold on to your ankles. If this is challenging, you can just extend that bottom leg. So find both sits points into the ground. Again, if this is challenging, you can always sit on a brick and just allow yourself to slowly open up those hips. So finger pads in front of you, you're in control here. So you walk the chest, finger pads forward. Pause and breathe here. Take a quick body scan. Notice where you're holding in the body. And after a few breaths, you might go a little further. Forearms for some of you. Slow it all down. And we'll inhale, come back to center. Let's take a twist to the right. And we'll twist in the opposite direction. And coming back through center. So we're just following our knees. We're just going to unwind. So weight comes into that left foot. I'm just spinning to the right. And now that left knee comes on the bottom, right knee on top. Or you can just switch your legs. So reaching for your ankles. Again, maybe sitting on the brick. This might be a great hip opener right here. Or let's begin to play our edge, walking our finger pads towards the front of your space. Soften the shoulders. Sits bones are rooted, navel is engaged. And maybe go a little further. Maybe take those forearms to the mat. Let the head be nice and loose. Slow down that breath. Two more breaths here. And we'll slowly rise, lift your heart. Let's take a twist to the left. And coming back through center, we'll twist in the opposite direction. And back through center, let's extend our legs. And full inhale, slight bend in the knees as we forward fold. Paschimottanasana. So slowly opening up the backs of the legs by taking the backs of the knees closer to the floor. Reach your heart forward. Our navel is engaged in and up towards our spine. Now lifting your heart, reach your hands forward, transitioning into our plow position. We're going to modify our plow though. So our back body comes to the floor. We lift our legs and just take your toes up and over. So no shoulder stands this morning, working more on that middle back opening. So the tops of my toes, or I should say the backs of my, tops of my toes are on the ground, the toenail side. Breathe into that middle back body. You stay supported. Some of you can reach your arms to the floor, maybe walk your toes a little further. Very careful about putting any tension on the back of the neck. Stay connected with that breath. Couple more breaths here. Drawing your attention to the back body. And we'll slowly begin to unwind the spine. Take your time. When your hips hit the floor, just bend those knees one more time. We're going to give ourselves one more beautiful hug, reaching for opposite elbows. Face is soft, breath is steady. And then releasing the legs, finding our happy baby. Reach for the inner arches of the feet. Knees are heavy. Breathe into those inner groins. You can rock the spine side to side. Then finding stillness here, straighten through the right leg, that left knee is still bent. And our right knee is bent and we'll extend that left leg. And one last time, finding our happy baby, bringing the soles of your feet together, drawing those heels towards your inner groins, open up those knees with your elbows. And we'll slowly release into Shavasana. So extend those legs, take up a lot of space, palms turn up towards the sky, and just settle in, let go of any control of your breath. Beginning to add movement to your fingers and toes. Feeling that next inhalation, stretch the arms up overhead, out through the toes. And we'll gently curl onto either side of the mat, knees hug in. Pause here. And slowly finding your way back to a comfortable seated position or enjoying a few more minutes in your Shavasana. So coming back to that quote from Dennis Waitley, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every moment with love, grace, and gratitude. So bringing our hands to our heart center, bowing our forehead to the tips of our fingers. Love, grace, and gratitude. Let's seal all of that in with one beautiful Om. Sip in the inhale. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within all of you. Thank you for a beautiful practice this morning. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. March 16th, tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. Wear green. Wow, I sweated this morning. Wear green or you'll get pinched. And